For those of you studying piano, you're likely most familiar with Mozart's piano sonatas, but in fact his most famous and masterful works are his operas. Some of the most famous ones include The Abduction from the Seraglio, The Marriage of Figaro, Don Giovanni, The Magic Flute, and so on. So what is the biggest and most obvious difference between these operas, or any vocal music for that matter, and pure piano or instrumental works? That's right, it's that they have a storyline. Within these plots, the characters played by each actor, their personalities, their inner thoughts, as well as the plot and dramatic conflicts, all must be expressed through the music. Now, when it comes to storytelling or expressing specific emotions, vocal music might have a slight edge over instrumental music, but the piano, of course, has its own irreplaceable charm. Hi everyone, I'm Sisi. Today, let's talk about how to use performance to express character in music. This week, Lang Lang talked about a piece that's very familiar to everyone, Mozart's Twinkle Twinkle, Little Star Variations. Twinkle Twinkle is just a nickname. Its real title is 12 Variations on À vous dirai-je, Maman. Mozart composed it when he was around 25. Now, a variation is essentially a piece divided into many sections. The first section is the most basic and important theme. Once the theme is introduced, all the following sections revolve around it, undergoing a series of developments and transformations. In English, it's called theme and variations. Theme is the subject and variations are the changes. So, a more accurate translation would be the theme and its various forms of change. So, in a variation, it's not just the rhythm that changes. The theme of these Twinkle Twinkle variations is a French folk song, a nursery rhyme. Its original author is unknown, but the song is incredibly widespread. Even today, it's a song everyone hears from childhood. For instance, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and the Alphabet Song both use this melody. That's why people eventually gave it this nickname, calling it the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star Variations. So today, I want to explore how we can bring out the character in music when we play, even without lyrics or a plot, or rather, how we can identify what kind of character a piece of music should present. First, let's define what character is. In music, we use the word character. This term refers to how we define a piece of music, what kind of mood it has, and what atmosphere it conveys. Speaking of this, I have to take a quick detour. In classical music, there's a major classification that divides instrumental music into two types. One is called program music, and the other is absolute music. Program music, as the name suggests, means the piece has a title that clearly expresses what the music is called. It's just like any song with a title that we listen to today. Just by looking at the title, you can guess what the song is likely about. Not only are there titles, but some composers even use poetry or prose to provide a more detailed description of the music, telling you exactly what it's meant to express. Or perhaps the piece itself was inspired by a work of literature. For instance, Liszt's Faust Symphony is based on Goethe's Faust. Or Debussy's symphonic work, Prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun, which draws from the symbolist poet Mallarmé's poem Afternoon of a Faun, and so on. The earliest program music can be traced back to the Baroque period. For example, Vivaldi's violin work, The Four Seasons, is a classic example of early program music. Program music then began to flourish during the Romantic period. With composers like Berlioz and Liszt, program music reached its absolute peak. The symphonic poem, a genre created by Liszt, is the ultimate example of program music.